Krishna Maharaj, Dandavat Param.
Dandavat. Hare Krishna. What is the shloka today? Which verse from Caitanya Caritamrta Adi Leela?
Maharaj, you said for text 46.
46, okay. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति सुपदान्तिकम्। आददानस्तुतं दन्तरिदं याचे पुनः पुनः श्रीमद्रूपपदाम्भोज दूलिस्यां जन्म जन्मनि अनर्पितचरिं चिरात् कर्णावतीर्णातलौ समर्पयितुम् उन्नतजलवर्षां स्वभक्तिश्रियं हरिपुरटसुन्दरद्वितीः कदम्बसन्दीपितः सदा हृदय कंदरे स्मृतवासिचिंदनः। टेक्स्ट नंबर 46। सर्वप्रथम अस्मदीय गुरुपाद पद्म निखिला पृष्ठ जगद्गुरु शिष्य भक्तिदांत नारायण गोसाई महाराज के अभय चरणारविंदों में अनंत कोटि दंडवत प्रणाम अर्पण करता हूँ। दंडी स्वामी शिष्य भक्तिदांत दंडी महाराज, नामनिष्ठ संत श्री अनिरुद्धदास प्रभु जी, समस्त वैष्णव वैष्णवी के चरणों में मैं यथा के दंडवत प्रणाम अर्पण करता हूँ, उनकी कृपा की प्रार्थना करता हूँ। So very important verse, text number 46, Adi Leela. Those who have a book of Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, they can refer to that. Acharyam mam vijaniyan navamanheta karhichi namartya buddhe asuyet sarvadeva mayo guru. Acharyam, the spiritual master. Word for word meaning, Acharya means the spiritual master. Mam means myself. Vijaniyat, one should know. Na avamanneta. Na avamanneta means one should never disrespect karhichit at any time. Na ever. Martya buddhya, with the idea of his being an ordinary man. Asuyeta, one should be envious. Sarva deva, of all demigods. Mayaha, representative guru, the spiritual master. One should know the acharya as myself and never disrespect him in any way. One should not envy him, thinking him as an ordinary man, for he is the representative of all the demigods. This is a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, spoken by Lord Krishna when he was questioned by Uddhava regarding the 4 social and spiritual orders of society. The Lord was specifically instructing how a brahmachari should behave under the care of a spiritual master. A spiritual master is not an enjoyer of facilities offered by his disciples. It's like a parent. Without the attentive service of his parents, a child cannot grow to manhood. Similarly, without the care of the spiritual master, one cannot rise to the plane of transcendental service. The spiritual master is also called Acharya, a transcendental professor of spiritual science. The Manu Samhita explains the duties of an Acharya, describing that a bona fide spiritual master accepts charge of disciples, teaches them the Vedic knowledge with all its intricacies, and gives them their second birth. The ceremony performed to initiate a disciple into the study of spiritual science is called Upaniti, or the function that brings one nearer to the spiritual master. One who cannot be brought nearer to a spiritual master cannot have a sacred thread, and thus he is indicated to be a Shudra. The sacred thread on the body of a Brahman, Kshatriya or Vaishya is a symbol of initiation by the spiritual master. It is worth nothing if worn merely to boast of high parentage. The duty of the spiritual master is to initiate a disciple with the sacred thread ceremony, and after this samskar or purificatory process, the spiritual master actually begins to teach the disciple about the Vedas. A person born a Shudra is not barred from such spiritual initiation, provided he is approved by the spiritual master, who is duly authorized to award a disciple the right to be a Brahman if he finds him perfectly qualified. In the Vayu Puran, an Acharya is defined as one who knows the import of all Vedic literatures, abides by their rules and regulations, and teaches his disciples to act in the same way. Only out of his immense compassion does the personality of Godhead reveal himself as the spiritual master. Therefore, in the dealings of an Acharya, there are no activities but those of transcendental loving service to the Lord. He is the Supreme Personality of Servitor Godhead. It is worthwhile to take shelter of such a steady devotee who is called Ashraya Vigraha, or the manifestation or form of the Lord, of whom one must take shelter. If one poses himself as an Acharya but does not have an attitude of servitorship to the Lord, he must be considered an offender. And this offensive attitude disqualifies him from being an Acharya. The bona fide spiritual master always engages in unalloyed devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By this test, he is known to be a direct manifestation of the Lord and a genuine representative of Sri Nityananda Prabhu. Such a spiritual master is known as Acharya Dev. Influenced by an envious temperament and dissatisfied because of an attitude of self-gratification, mundaners criticize a real Acharya. In fact, however, a bona fide Acharya is non-different from the personality of Godhead. And therefore, to envy such an Acharya is to envy the personality of Godhead himself. This will produce an effect subversive of transcendental realization. As mentioned previously, a disciple should always respect the spiritual master as a manifestation of Sri Krishna. But at the same time, one should always remember that a spiritual master is never authorized to imitate the transcendental pastimes of the Lord. False spiritual masters pose themselves as identical with Sri Krishna in every respect. They exploit the sentiments of their disciples, but such impersonalists can only mislead their disciples, for their ultimate aim is to become one with the Lord. This is against the principles of the devotional cult. The real Vedic philosophy is Achinta Veda Ved Tattva, which establishes everything to be simultaneously one with and different from the personality of Godhead. Sri Raghunath Das Goswami confirms that this is the real position of a bona fide spiritual master, and says that one should always think of the spiritual master in terms of his intimate relationship with Mukunda, Sri Krishna. Sri Jiva Goswami in his Bhakti Sandarbha has clearly explained that a pure devotee's observation of the spiritual master and Lord Shiva as being one with the personality of Godhead exists in the terms of their being very dear to the Lord, not identical with him in all respects. Following in the footsteps of Sri Raghunath Das Goswami and Sri Jiva Goswami, later acharyas like Sri Vishnu Thakur have confirmed the same truths. In his prayers to the spiritual master, Sri Vishnu Thakur confirms that all the revealed scriptures accept the spiritual master to be identical with the personality of Godhead, because he is a very dear and confidential servant of the Lord. Gaudiya Vaishnavas therefore worship Srila Gurudev, the spiritual master, in the light of his being the servitor of the personality of Godhead. In all the ancient literatures of devotional service and in the more recent songs of Srila Uttam Thakur, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur and other unalloyed Vaishnavas, the spiritual master is always considered either one with the confidential associates of Srimati Radharani or a manifested representation of Srila Nityananda Prabhu. So this is a very long purport and actually very beneficial, because the topic is so important. Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, he actually is explaining in great detail. Acharya mam vijaniyan nava manyata karichit na marte buddhya suyat sarva deva mayo guru. So here, it's very, very clear here. This is a conversation between Bhagavan Sri Krishna and Uddhav. Bhagavan Sri Krishna is speaking to Uddhav. And he's telling, understand, Guru is very dear to me. Krishna is telling that Guru should be understood to be very dear to Krishna. So we should not उनको अपनी प्राकृत इंद्रिय के द्वारा अपने उनके बाह्य आचरण को देखकर. What happens that we see the external behavior of the spiritual master by our mundane senses, and even if there is a reason, you should not criticize your spiritual master. Basically, that is the whole point. Because our senses are mundane and Bhagavan, Gurudev is transcendental. So sometimes we see the faults in the spiritual master. We might see because our eyes are materialized and he is transcendental personality. So we might see some faults, but we should still not criticize him because all the demigods reside in the body of Bhagwan, of Gurudev. क्योंकि गुरु में सभी देवताओं का वास है. All the deities reside inside the body of Guru. So, even if there is a reason, you should never criticize the spiritual master because he is very dear to Krishna and his external behavior sometimes may cause us to criticize him. But because we should know that our senses are material, we cannot understand his external activities, we cannot judge him because he is completely transcendental personality. There should be no criticism of the spiritual master. अपनी स्वाभाविक जड़ बुद्धि से ईर्ष्यालु होकर उन्हें अपना समान जड़ देश काल पात्र की उपाधि के अधीन नहीं समझना चाहिए. So here, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada is telling that our intelligence is naturally dull. Inherently, our intelligence is dull. And that's why we become very envious of even the spiritual master. And then what we think, oh, my spiritual master belongs to this particular country. He's from Karnataka, he's from Andhra Pradesh, he's from India or South Africa. Or he is maybe 20, 30, 40 years older than me. He was born in 1956 or 1968 or something like this. Like this. He actually is eternal personality. He is an eternal associate of Krishna. So he took birth in 1896 or he took birth in 1021 or 1956. All this is not correct. Guru is eternal. He is an eternal associate of Krishna. So whether he took birth in Bihar or Karnataka or Bengal doesn't matter. He is a transcendental personality. So Manu Samhita is what? I think the instructions given by Manu to the mankind. Manu means mankind, the forefather of the mankind. Shatarupa and the Bhagavatam tells Manu Shatarupa. Upaniyatu yah shishyam vedam adhyapayet dvijaha sakalpam sahrasyam tamacharyam prashakshati. So, जो शिष्य का उपनयन जनेऊ संस्कार कराकर दूसरा जन्म देता है. So here let's try to understand this statement that the first birth is the Shaukra birth. Shaukra birth means seminal birth. Father will eat the grains. The living entity first dies. After death, the living entity goes to the sky. Then he stays in the clouds. Then the clouds shower the rain. The living entity falls with the rain, enters the ground. Then the farmer will plant the seeds in the ground. The living entity enters the grains. Then the grains are harvested by the farmer, and then through the grains, the mother will cook the grains, and father will eat those grains, and the living entity will through the grains enter the body of the father. Then from the father body, he will enter into the womb of the mother. That is called seminal birth, from semen. But that is not the real birth. The second birth is the important one. That is when we get the Diksha. That is the sacred thread is given to the male members. And the female members, they are not given the sacred thread, but they are certainly given the appropriate Gayatri mantras. So they are also initiated. और उसे वेद की शिक्षा देता है. So Acharya, what he does, he gives the sacred thread ceremony. After that, he instructs the Vedas. Now you say that our Gurudev never gave us any, Vedic instructions. We took initiation. Gurudev never told any Vedic hymns or so much. But actually, Gurudev did tell the essence of the Vedas in Kali Santana Upanishad, which is the Vedic mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. This Hare Krishna mantra is the essence of all the Vedas from Kali Santana Upanishad. So we have got this mantra. That's why we have got the Vedic knowledge from the Acharya. उस व्यवहारिक तथा गूढ़ रहस्य परक शिक्षा प्रदाता को आचार्य कहा जाता है. So he gives us these practical instructions, and he gives us this very confidential instructions. This Mahamantra also, you see, We think it is very, very simple and everyone knows it. Actually, not everyone knows it. Even in India, many people say Hare Krishna mantra should be chanted Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. They don't even know that mantra begins with Hare Krishna. So it's actually a very confidential mantra. We got it in Parampara, so we know exact that Hare Krishna is first, then Hare Ram. Now, Vayu Puran gives the definition of the word Acharya. Achinotiya shastrartham acharya sthapayatyapि स्वयं आचरते यस्मात् आचार्यस्तेन कीर्तिता. अर्थात तो शिष्य के व्यवहार में शास्त्रों के अर्थ को स्थापित करता है. So what is the duty of the spiritual master? Here it is told that the duty of the spiritual master is to ensure that the purpose of the scriptures reflect in the conduct of the disciple. Understand? Means when disciples' conduct starts following the scriptures, then Acharya's job is done. So Acharya ensures that the scriptures, the teachings of the scriptures are reflected in the day-to-day life of the disciple. And not that he ensures that disciples follow the Vedic instructions, but he will never himself follow, then he is not an Acharya. Acharya first, he will follow himself the Vedic instructions. And then he will also ensure that disciples follow those instructions. Then he is an Acharya. So Bhagavan himself manifests near the disciples as the Acharya. आचार्य के आचरण में हरि सेवा के अतिरिक्त तो दूसरा कोई कार्य नहीं है. Means Acharya has no other duty than Hari Seva, serving Lord Hari. Absolutely no other job he has. 24 hours a day, he is just serving Lord Hari. So he is the shelter of love of God. He is the Ashraya Vigra. Ashraya means shelter of love. और यदि कोई हरि सेवा विमुख होकर अपने को आचार्य होने का अभिमान करता है, तो उसके उस सुधराचार को कोई भी सदाचार के रूप में ग्रहण नहीं करता. There are a lot of people, they have the false ego of being acharya, but they are not rendering service to Lord Hari. Like you see that some followers say, some gurus say, I am Sadguru. We are Sadguru. The name itself is Sadguru. Then they claim that we are Acharya. I am this Acharya, I am that Acharya. But they are not rendering service to Lord Hari. They have a false pride of being Acharya. If they are averse to service to serve Lord Hari, then they are not Acharya. So this is actually their wrong conduct. Claim that they are Acharya, not rendering service to Krishna and still claiming to be Acharya. So this behavior is not beneficial for anyone. What is the introduction of an Acharya? How can you say that my Gurudev is the expansion of Krishna or a manifestation of Krishna? How do you know this? He is unalloyed, one-pointed devotional service. This is the introduction to the Acharya. If he is rendering unalloyed service to Sri Krishna, then we can know that he is certainly an manifestation of Krishna. So there are some people in this world, they are dissatisfied with the sense gratification. They are quite dissatisfied with the sense. They are aspiring for satisfying their senses. They expect that their senses should give them happiness, but they remain always dissatisfied with the sense gratification. They never think that they got enough sense gratification. So such people start to envy the conduct of an Acharya. Such lusty persons start to envy the behavior of an Acharya. Although the behavior of Acharya is spotless, free from any defect, contamination, but still such envious persons, they start to have enviousness for Gurudev. Acharya Dev Seva Bhagavan ki abhinna ang hai. So here let's try to understand. Here the Guru is called Acharya Dev. And he is Acharya Dev Gurudev is addressed by the name Acharya Dev, Acharya Pad. So many names are there. Acharya Dev, Acharya Pad, Acharya Ratna, like this. He is the non-different limb of Bhagwan. Bhagwan is called Sevya. So Bhagwan also two types. One is Sevya Bhagwan, means the Bhagwan who is receiving the service, and other one is Sevat Bhagwan, the Bhagwan who is rendering service. So Guru is Sevat Bhagwan. He is the supreme personality of servitor Godhead. Understand? He is rendering service. He is Sevat Bhagwan. So therefore we should not have enviousness for either the supreme personality of Godhead, Sevya Bhagwan, and we should also not have enviousness for Sevak Bhagwan. What will happen? The living entity who keeps enviousness for the spiritual master will become devoid of the mercy of Bhagwan and his associates, and he will fall down. Understand? And this has happened many, many times. We see that those who became envious of Gurudev or Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj or Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada or Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj or even Sripad Dandi Maharaj, they fell down because actually we should not be envious of any living entity. What to speak of an Acharya? Why we should be envious of any living entity? Because every living entity has a relationship with Krishna. You also have a relationship with Krishna. Your relationship is unique. Everyone's relationship is unique. So we are not in competition with anyone. No one can compete with anyone. Like you see that every manjar is rendering some different seva. You can see the Seva Kunj painting of Shamarandi. One manjar is offering camphor, one manjar is offering milk, one manjar is offering incense, one manjar is offering clothes, someone is offering this, that, whatnot. So many sevas, billions and billions of sevas. So there is no, even in temple you see, there are at least 20, 30, 50, 100, 1 million people are staying in a temple. Still everyone will have different seva. Someone is cutting vegetables, someone is cleaning the temple, someone is editing the books, someone is distributing the books, someone is managing the gift shop, someone is selling, making the cow urine, someone is making this, someone is making that, someone is making medicines. All types of sevas are there in the temple also. There is no that you have to step on someone's toes or you have to remove someone. In material world, that may be the case. That they may hire a more competent person and they may sack an incompetent person. But in spiritual life, whether competent or incompetent, everyone is allowed to do seva. Understand? Because it is not a profit-oriented organization. But really, any person, however dull that may be, he can be engaged in Krishna's seva. Understand? Doesn't have to be very intelligent or very healthy or anything. Anyone. And if you cannot do any seva, still you can chant Hare Krishna mantra. That is the highest seva. Understand? So, if you cannot do any physical service, then you simply chant Hare Krishna mantra. So here, Vastuta Shri Gurudev, Shri Krishna Chaitanya के दास होने पर भी. Now this is very, very important. Let us try to understand the position of the spiritual master. He is the servant of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. What does it mean? That you cannot serve Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in any other melo. Like a lot of people you see that they become Gauranga Nagari. Gauranga Nagari means Gauranga is my husband, I am his wife. Gauranga is my beloved sweetheart, I am his prayasi, I am his consort, and all that nonsense went on. Actually, Mahaprabhu doesn't accept all that type of seva, like Krishna. Don't think that I will dance with Mahaprabhu in Ras Leela. Gauranga Nagariva. Mahaprabhu is master. I am servant. That's all. Keep the mood of servitorship to Mahaprabhu. So spiritual master always has the mood, I am the servant of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Das Mui, Chaitanya Das, Chaitanya Das Tara, Dasera Das. Not only that, spiritual master thinks I am not the servant of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I am the servant of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. तो शिष्य को अपनी अप्राकृत दृष्टि से उनको श्री गौर सुंदर का प्रकाश विशेष जानना चाहिए. Yes, spiritual master is servant of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but don't think that he is just a servant. Rather, we should think he is not just a servant of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is an expansion or manifestation of Shri Gaura Sundar. परंतु श्री कृष्ण के नित्य सेवक भाव से रहित होकर गुरुदेव किसी अंश में श्री ब्रजनंदन के साथ लीला वैचित्र में भिन्न नहीं है, ऐसा भी नहीं मानना चाहिए. So, निर्विशेषवादियों के मतानुसार अप्राकृत अनुभूति. So this statement is little difficult to understand. परंतु श्री कृष्ण के नित्य सिद्ध सेवक भाव से रहित होकर. So actually we have an eternal mood of being the servant of Krishna, every living entity. I am a servant of Krishna and Krishna is the object of my service. Krishna is the recipient of my service. I am serving him. But Shri Gurudev, the pastimes of Srila Gurudev and the pastimes of Sri Krishna, there is no difference. We shouldn't think like this. Like we shouldn't think that my Gurudev will do Ras Leela, he is Krishna, enjoyer, and he will do Ras Leela with the gopis. Don't think like that. There will always be some variety. Krishna's pastimes are different. Gurudev's pastimes are different. Gurudev is not a supreme personality of Godhead. He is the supreme personality of servitor Godhead. He is not the enjoyer, supreme enjoyer, but he is supreme servitor. Understand? So therefore, there will always be some differences. Shri Krishna's pastimes will be different, Acharya's pastimes will be different. So as per the consideration of Nirvisheshwadis, means the impersonalist, अप्राकृत अनुभूति जगत में स्वगत सजातीय विजातीय जैसी कोई विशेषता नहीं है. So here there are three types of differences they are counted here. स्वगत भेद, सजातीय भेद and विजातीय भेद. So here, but you can see that Bhagwan is devoid of Swagat, Sajatiya, Vijatiya Ved. No Visheshta. So what is Swagat? Swagat means, for example, Anganiyasya Sakalendriya Vrittimanti, Pashyanti Panti Kalayanti Chiram Jaganti, Ananda Chinmaya Sadujala Vigrahasya Govindam Adi Purusham Tamam Bhajan. Bhagwan and his hands are non-different. Jagannath and his eyes are non-different. Means Jagannath's mouth and his eyes are non-different. Like from in Jagannath Puri, they will show one coconut from far away to Jagannath. Jagannath, eat this. Jagannath looks at it, his bhoga is done. This is called Dushti Bhoga. Dushti Bhoga means by his eyes he is eating. Understand? In Vedas it is told Saikshata. Aikshata means he glanced at the material nature. And then what happened? The material nature become agitated, become pregnant. In material world, that is not possible. Understand? Husband and wife, if the wife will become pregnant by husband's gland, it's a big problem. Understand? So that's why spiritual world is different. So he simply looked at the material nature become agitated and become pregnant. So Bhagwan doesn't even need his wife Lakshmi to produce a baby. Garbhodaksha wished to produce a baby on his own accord, with his own desire. From his navel a baby manifested, Brahmaji. Understand? So Brahmaji is the son of Garbhodaksha Vishnu. So Bhagwan has not Swagata Ved. Bhagwan's any limb can do any activity. He can impregnate by his eyes, he can eat by his eyes. In material world also, some examples are given like a snake. Snake is called Chakshu Karna. His eyes can hear. The snake has no ear. Have you seen a snake with ear? But he can hear by his eyes and he can see by his eyes. So two jobs are done by one limb, one particular organ. So Bhagavan also can do that. Sajatiya Bhed. What is Sajatiya Bhed? that there is no difference between Ram, Varaha, Kurma, Narsingha. These differences don't exist. Understand? Sajatiya Bhed means actually, although there is a difference between Ram and Krishna, but actually there is no difference. Understand? Means Narsingha Dev has a beautiful wife, right? She is Lakshmi Devi, teenage girl, very beautiful, very pretty. But will she dare to go near Narsingha Dev when Narsingha Dev is angry? From 1 kilometer away, she'll do Lamma Dandot Pranam. No, I don't want to go near it. It's too angry. I never seen him so angry. Demigod requested Lakshmi Devi, go to Narsingha Dev. Did Lakshmi go? Understand? So, but gopis, they can go to Krishna. Gopis can go to Krishna. Sakhas can feed him his remnants. Shabari also could not do that. Shabari, many people say that there was a tribal woman called Shabari. She used to pluck the gooseberries and she used to test the berries and then keep the sweet if the berries are sweet, and then she fed the remnants to Ramchandra. That is not possible. Actually, what she did, she used to go to the tree of berries and then she used to take some berries and eat them. If the berries are sweet, then she would know that this tree will always bear sweet berries. Then she'll pluck the fresh berries from the tree and keep for Ramchandra. She did not feed her remnants to Ramchandra, but she only gave, she ascertained if the berry tree is bearing sweet fruit by testing 1 or 2 fruit from that tree. So Ramchandra's pastimes are different, Krishna's pastimes are different, but they are non-different from each other because they are all Vishnu Daivata. Also, Vijatiya Bhed is also not there in Bhagavan. Understand? So Bhagavan and Jiva, they are different from each other, at the same time they are non-different. Because Jiva is a spark of fire and Bhagavan is like fire. Or if Bhagavan is like the sun, then Jiva is like the ray of the sun. But although spark of fire is different from the fire, it is still not different because the spark of fire cannot exist without fire and the ray of the sun cannot exist without the sun. So Bhagavan does not have this Swagat, Sajati or Vijatiya Bhed. उनके इस विचार का अनुगमन करके कोई भी भक्तिमान वैष्णवाचार्य ऐसा कदापि नहीं कह सकते कि गुरु और श्री कृष्ण में किसी प्रकार का भेद नहीं है। अपितु वे सदा अचिंत्य भेदाभेद तत्व का ही उपदेश करते हैं। So yes, no Vaishnavacharya will claim that Guru and Shri Krishna are 101% one and the same. Not like that. There are differences. They are simultaneously one and different. Achintya Bhedabhed Tattva means, what is the meaning of Achintya Bhedabhed Tattva? Achintya Bhedabhed Tattva means inconceivable oneness of the energy and the energetic. Understand? Inconceivable oneness of the energy and the energetic. This is called Achintya Bhedabhed Tattva. The Achintya Bhedabhed Tattva is based on one aphorism from Vedanta Sutra. Shakti Shakti Motor Aveda. There is no difference between the Shakti and Shaktiman. They are one and the same. Like Radharani and Krishna. What is Radharani? Actually, she is Krishna only. But teaching the world how to serve Krishna. Understand? So Guru is also like that. He is Krishna only, but teaching us how to serve Krishna. So he is Ashraya Vigraha, like Radharani. Understand? He is like an Ashraya Vigraha. So Sri Raghunath Goswami has said something in the relationship with Guru. Mukunda Preshtatve Guruvaram Smara. अर्थात गुरुवर को मुकुंद प्रिय के रूप में स्मरण करो. So this is Manas Shiksha. Mukunda Preshtatve Guruvaram Smaramana. My Gurudev is the most beloved of Mukunda. Now what is the meaning of Mukunda? Muktim Dadatiti Mukunda. One who bestows liberation is called Mukunda. Or another meaning of the word Mukunda is Mukham Yasya Kundavat iti Mukunda. Whose face is beautiful like Kunda flower for Mukunda. Or Muktim Kutsitam Karati Mukunda. By the devotional service of Sri Krishna is so relishable that even the happiness of liberation appears insignificant compared to the bliss of devotional service. So one who makes the bliss of liberation also seem insignificant, that is Mukunda. So we should know that my Gurudev is very dear to Mukunda. Sri Jiva Goswami in Bhakti Sandarbha, verse number 216 has said, Shuddha Bhakta Shri Guru Shri Shivastecha Bhagavata Saha Abhed Drushtim Tat Priyatava Tere Manyate. अर्थात कोई शुद्ध भक्त श्री गुरु और शिव में भगवान से अभेद दृष्टि रखते हुए उन्हें भगवान का प्रिय जानते हैं. Yes, I should know that my Guru is not different from Krishna, but also is very dear to Krishna. श्री जीव गोस्वामी के अनुग्रह श्री विश्वनाथ ठाकुर ने श्री गुरुदेव स्तोत्र में कहते हैं. So Srila Vishnu Thakur is following in the footsteps of Srila Jiva Goswami, and he has written the Gurvashtakam, which we sing in the Brahma Murta every morning. Sakshat Haritvena Samasta Shastrair Uttastatha Bhagyate Basadvi Kinto Pravorya Priyeva Tasya Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda. All the scriptures have described Gurudev as directly Hari. A disciple should see that my Gurudev is directly Hari. And saintly persons also regard the Gurudev to be directly Hari. But actually, he is the beloved servant of Sri Krishna Caitanya Mahaprabhu, my Gurudev. And he is expansion. So Gurudev is not different from Gaurahari or Krishna. But at the same time, he is the beloved servant of Krishna or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is in expansion also, but he is also servant. So Gaudiya Vaishnava मात्र ही आश्रय विग्रह श्री गुरुदेव का तदीय जानकर गुरुदेव का ध्यान करते हैं. Tadiya means the object related to Krishna is called Tadiya. Understand? So every Gaudiya Vaishnava will regard the Gurudev to be Tadiya. Like Tulasi is Tadiya, Ganga water is Tadiya, Giraj Govardhan Shila is Tadiya. Understand? Means they are related to Krishna. Shaligram Shila is Tadiya Vastu. Means it is not different from Bhagavan. So Gurudev is also Tadiya. Just like you would not regard Tulsi as an ordinary plant. Understand? Or cow to be an ordinary animal. Understand? So like that, Gurudev is also Tadiya Vastu. Like cow also Tadiya Vastu. Very dear to Krishna. Very dear. Understand? Like I was reading Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj article. In one book he wrote, why you are eating cows? Please don't eat cows, he was telling me. Don't kill the cows. Then he was so merciful. He said, we are not even forbidding you not to eat the flesh of a cow. But let the cow complete her natural lifespan. Don't slaughter the cow. When the cow will die, you come to our farm, we'll give you a free cow. Eat the cow as much as you like. He's telling like that. But means he was somehow the other is telling. He said, I allow you even to eat lower class animals like goats and pigs and hogs. But please, for God's sake, don't kill the cow. It is a very big sin. He said, eat, if you want to eat other animals like pigs and chicken and all that. But don't eat cow. That is very big. Then he was telling the reason for all these wars going on. Then he's telling that killing of the cow will have karmic reaction. Then there will be twang twang. He was showing like this trigger. And there will be so much gunfire will be going on. And that is what is going on. Ukraine and Russia, they are fighting. It's actually very pathetic. Which side to take, no side. Who is a winner? In a war, nobody is a winner. Everyone is a loser, actually. Both armies are suffering casualty. Young soldiers are dying. So many women are becoming widows. So many children are becoming orphans. So many old mother and father are becoming helpless. Their children are dying. Understand? So property is being lost. Billions and billions of dollars of buildings, hospitals are being destroyed. In a war situation, who can be happy? Who can be a winner? Who can be a gainer? Understand? But this is all Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj doing to cow killing. The cow killing actually very dangerous, very dangerous. I was hearing on philosophy about how there are some waves. They are actually figuring out why there are so many earthquakes and tsunamis. So some scientists did some research and they found that when the cows are slaughtered, then the cows, there is a pain wave theory. You can check on net, pain wave theory. And they did some research and they identified some waves which are emanating from the cows when they die. And they emit some waves called pain waves. And these pain waves, they interfere with the gravitational field of the earth, electromagnetic field of the earth, and that's why it causes the tsunamis and earthquakes. So that's what the pain wave theory is all about. It's a PhD level thesis about pain waves. So when we kill the cows, actually they emanate some waves called pain waves. And that's why so many people are becoming ruthless. Understand? So Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj is telling that cows should be protected at any rate. Otherwise, there will be so many more wars to come. Not just this is only the trailer. Real picture is still ahead. समस्त प्राचीन उपासना पद्धति और शुद्ध भक्त गीतों में श्री गुरुदेव को श्रीमती राधिका की प्रिय सखी अर्थात नित्यानंद का स्वरूप प्रकाश कर निर्देश किया गया. Now there are many ancient systems of worship. Understand? Like Satkriya Sardipika, Haribhakti Vilas explains. There is also Dhyanachandra Prabhu, the disciple of Gopal Guru Goswami, wrote Gaura Govinda Charana Smarana Archana Paddhati, or our Srila Gurudev's book Archan Deepika. It explains how to worship Gurudev. Actually, recently there was the disappearance day of Srila Bhakti Daita Madhav Goswami Maharaj. So Srila Gurudev's article was published on Pure Bhakti, and I also was hearing the audio. Those who are not subscribed to the Telegram, first of all, you should have a Telegram downloaded. In Telegram or WhatsApp, there is one group called Rasamrita, Gaudiya Rasamrita. Please subscribe to that group, and every day you will receive one English and one Hindi lecture of Srila Gurudev, which is audio very nicely cleansed, and noise is removed, distortion, disturbance is removed. Very good audio quality lectures there. So you should hear every day at least one lecture. Very beautiful. I also hear these lectures of Gurudev. So, Srila Bhaktivedanta Madhav Goswami Maharaj, generally on Vyasa Puja, many times, many persons, they only tell the disciples worship the spiritual master. That's all. But Srila Bhaktivedanta Madhav Goswami Maharaj was not like that. Srila Gurudev told. He would call all sannyasis, brahmacharis from all mathas and so many Brajavasis. Then he will personally garland them, offer them sandalwood, a cloth, and then greet them, then give them some just prasad. So on his own birthday, means his own Vyasa Puja day, he would serve the other Vaishnavas. Even when Gurudev is so much junior to him, to Srila Bhaktivedanta Madhav Goswami Maharaj. He's like Gurudev's god brother, means like his god uncle. But even when Gurudev went to see Srila Bhaktivedanta Madhav Goswami Maharaj, then he garlanded Gurudev, offered his sandalwood. Gurudev said, he is more humble than a blade of grass, very tolerant. I've wanted to offer him Dandavat Pranam at his feet. He is so humble, Srila Bhaktivedanta Madhav Goswami Maharaj. So we should learn how to worship on Gurudev's appearance day. We should respect all the Vaishnavas, invite all the Vaishnavas. Understand? And everyone should be satisfied. Everyone should be given some prasad and honor them. Understand? That will please Gurudev. So there are some songs of pure devotional service. So what is Gurudev? Srila Gurudev is the beloved Sakhi of Srimati Radhika, maid servant of Radhika. Or he is also regarded as an expansion of Nityananda Prabhu. But mainly, we think that Srila Gurudev is Kaya Viho, the bodily expansion of Radharani. Understand? But you can think that it is also expansion of Nityananda Prabhu. Nityananda Prabhu cannot give conjugal melo, but he can actually through Ananga Manjari, younger sister of Radharani. Because Nityananda Prabhu has one more manifestation, Ananga Manjari. She can give us servitorship of Radharani. So now let us try to understand the verse number 47. Shiksha Guru Tajani Krishnera Swarupa Antaryami Bhakta Srishta Hidrupa. One should know the instructor. Shiksha Guru, the spiritual master who instructs. So indeed, Jani, I know Krishna Swarupa, the direct representative. Antaryami, the indwelling super soul. Bhakta Srishta, the best devotee. Ei Dui Rupa. One should know the instructing spiritual master to be the personality of Krishna. Lord Krishna manifests himself as the super soul, as the greatest devotee of the Lord. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami states that the instructing spiritual master is a bona fide representative of Shri Krishna. So you should see that there is a one Shiksha Guru also. Like for example, there were many disciples who were initiated by Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj. You see that Bhaktivedanta Tirtha Maharaj, Premananda Prabhuji, and so many Prabhujis, they are initiated by Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj. But they all took Shiksha from Srila Gurudev. Gurudev was their main Shiksha Guru. In that sense, they should regard actually Shiksha Guru to be a representative of Krishna. So the Gurudev was also a representative of Krishna, although he acted as Shiksha Guru there. Shri Krishna himself teaches us an instructing spiritual master from within and without. So there are two ways to educate. One is from within and one is without. From within he teaches us as Paramatman out are our constant companion, and from without he teaches from the Bhagavad Gita as the instructing spiritual master. You can see here that in our heart there is one Chaitya Guru. Chaitya Guru is Paramatma. Chaitya means, the word Chaitya comes from the word Chitta, the consciousness. So in our heart, Bhagavan is present. Understand? As Chaitya Guru, indwelling super soul. Understand? He is always with us. 24 hours a day, Gurudev is with us in our heart. As the Chaitya Guru. And from without, he teaches from the Bhagavad Gita as the instructing spiritual master. But then there are also Shiksha Guru who takes the book of Bhagavad Gita and explains that to the disciples. Now there are two kinds of instructing spiritual masters. One is the liberated person, fully observed in meditation and devotional service, and the other is who invokes the disciples' spiritual consciousness by means of relevant instructions. So the instructing spiritual masters also, Shiksha Guru also two types. The first one is the Siddha one, completely liberated, like our Gurudev was. And the other one is, he invokes the disciples' spiritual consciousness by means of relevant instructions. Then there is not every Shiksha Guru is Uttam Adhikari. Understand? He is not an Uttam Adhikari. No harm. He can be Madhyam Adhikari also. What Madhyam Adhikari will do? That he will explain from the scriptures to the disciple. Understand? He is not completely self-realized yet. He is not completely liberated. But he is qualified. Thus the instructions in the science of devotion are differentiated in terms of the objective and subjective ways of understanding. The Acharya, in the true sense of the term, who is authorized to deliver Krishna, enriches the disciples with full spiritual knowledge and thus awakens him to the activities of devotional service. Acharya, in the full sense of the term, who is authorized to deliver Krishna. Acharya means he can authorize to deliver Krishna. Just like the postman is authorized to deliver parcel, so Acharya is authorized to deliver Krishna. Like Srila Gurudev was giving an example that Caitanya Mahaprabhu was crying in Gambhira in separation of Krishna. There is so much tears of Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu shed so much tears. All the tears and love of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was collected by Nityananda Prabhu and it was taken to Bangladesh and it was stored inside a Padma river to be given as a gift to Narottam Das Thakur. So in that sense, Narottam Das Thakur gave him that, was given the prem by Nityananda Prabhu. But what was that prem? The tears of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as he was crying in Gambhira. When by learning from the self-realized spiritual master, one actually engages himself in the service of Lord Vishnu, functional devotional service begins. So we have to learn from the self-realized spiritual master and then actually engage oneself in the devotional service of Lord Vishnu. The procedure of this devotional service are known as abhideya or actions. One is duty bound to perform. So there are many types of devotional services like offering pranam, making sandalwood, flower garland, offering dress, arti, different foodstuffs, cleaning the temple. This is all abhideya. Chanting the Harinam, chanting the mantras, chanting the prayers, dancing. This is all called abhideya. These are the actions one is duty bound to perform. Means we must perform them. It's our duty to perform the 64 types of devotional service. And that is abhideya. Our only shelter is the Supreme Lord, and one who teaches us how to approach Krishna is the functioning form of the personality of Godhead. Actually, that is so important, the role of a guru. Because we have no other shelter. Krishna is our only shelter. And Guru does that fantastic job of explaining to us that take shelter of Krishna. Then that Guru is the functioning form of the personality of God. There is no difference between the shelter giving spiritual Supreme Lord and the initiating and instructing spiritual masters. Actually, ultimately, everyone receives the shelter of Bhagavan Sri Krishna. But the instructing spiritual master and initiating spiritual master, they help the disciple take shelter of Krishna. That's why they are also non-different from Krishna, who gives shelter. Understand? If one foolishly discriminates between them, he commits an offense in the discharge of devotional service. Not only we can not become envious of Diksha Guru, we cannot even become envious of Shiksha Guru also. Because Shiksha Guru and Diksha Guru also are non-different from each other. Sanatana Goswami is the ideal spiritual master. For he delivers one the shelter of the lotus feet of Madan Mohan. You can see here that first we approach Madan Mohan. Madan means kama, lust. Mohana means one who enchants even the Cupid. So sadhaka, he cannot make progress unless he can conquer the lust. So first we have to take shelter at the lotus feet of Madan Mohan. And Madan Mohan represents the deity of relationship, Sambandha Gyan. Even though one may be unable to travel on the field of Vrindavan due to forgetfulness of his relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he can get an adequate opportunity to stay in Vrindavan and derive all spiritual benefits by the mercy of the Sanatana Goswami. So we cannot go to Golok Vrindavan. Because Golok Vrindavan only liberated persons are allowed. But we can go to the Bhauma Vrindavan, the Vrindavan which is on the earth, like in Mathura district. Or we can go to Navadvip or Vrindavan, which are not different from each other. And we can stay there in Vrindavan. And we can derive all the spiritual benefits by the mercy of Sri Sanatana Goswami. Because Sanatana Goswami is very merciful. Sri Govindji acts exactly like the Shiksha Guru, instructing spiritual master by teaching Arjuna the Bhagavad Gita. Lord Krishna acted like the Shiksha Guru. He gave some important instructions to Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Basic instructions, but important. Same thing Krishna did to Uddhav. He gave instructions to Uddhav, which are recorded in the 11th canto. The initiating spiritual master is the personal manifestation of Sri Madan Mohan Vigraha, whereas the instructing spiritual master is the personal representative of Srila Govinda Dev Vigraha. So here, Sambandha, the deity of relationship is Sri Madan Mohan. It is Sri Madan Mohan, he gives us the relationship with the initiating spiritual master, Diksha Guru, will talk about Sambandha. What is your relationship with Krishna as Madan Mohan? So Madan Mohan personifies the Sambandha Gyan Pradata, Guru. The instructing spiritual master is the personal representative of Srila Govinda Dev. Because you can look at who revealed the deity of Madan Mohan to us. It was Sanatana Goswami. And Sanatana Goswami, he revealed his Madan Mohan to us. And Sanatana Goswami also gave us the knowledge of relationship in Brihad Bhagavatamrita. Brihad Bhagavatamrita talks about our relationship with Krishna. Very, very important book. All other books are written based on Brihad Bhagavatamrita. The first book was Brihad Bhagavatamrita. So, the knowledge of relationship is given by Sri Madan Mohan. But Diksha Guru is the personal representative of Govinda Dev. So Govinda Dev is the presiding deity of Abhideya. Both of these deities are worshipped in Vrindavan. Srila Gopinath is the ultimate attraction in spiritual reaction. But after first Madan Mohan will give us the relationship. Diksha Guru or Madan Mohan will give us a relationship with Krishna. Then Sri Govinda Dev or instructing spiritual master will teach us about the processes of devotional service, Abhideya. But why we have to practice the 64 limbs of devotional service which are Abhideya? To get the mercy of Sri Gopinath, who is the ultimate attraction in the spiritual realization. Understand? So first we serve Madan Mohan, then Govinda Dev, and then Gopinath. I think time is up today. If anyone has any questions, please ask. Next time we'll take the verse number 48. Naivopayanti apajitam kavastavesha brahma vishapi kritam uddhamada smaranta yantar vaistanuvratam ashubham vidunvan acharya chaitya pusham swagatim vinati. So here Diksha Guru is like Sanatana Goswami. He gives us the service of Sri Madan Mohan. And Shiksha Guru is like Rupa Goswami. He gives us the service of Sri Govinda Dev and his beloved devotees. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Bol. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarusya kripasana. Paridhanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you.
Thank you, Devi. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dandavat Param.
Danda.
Maharaj,
Yes.
one request, please. One request. You're
Yes.
going to Navadip, okay? You're going to
No, I
Navadip.
am not going. I am not going
Oh, you're
actually.
Oh,
Because
you're not
some
going.
Tirupati temple, no one is there. So if I go, no one is there for seva. See, what happens in ISKCON, they do parikrama 7 days before. Then after At Gaur Purnima time, then devotees can be in their respective temples. But in our Gaudiya Math, the Gaur Purnima has to be celebrated in the temple also, local temple, and also you have to go on parikrama because Gurudev's instruction is there. So there's a clash. So some devotees have to stay back. Otherwise, the service of the deity is hampered. So because there's not enough staff here, I'm not going. But there may be some other devotees will be going. Super Dandimar is going, and devotees from Bangalore will also be going. Damodar Prabhu and all.
Okay. No,
But if you need
no,
any
Maharaj.
coverage, you can request them. They can do some coverage online.
Yes, Maharaj. We want a darshan of Srila Anuradha Maharaj.
Aniruddha Prabhu, yes, I will request Shri Gangotri Prabhu, his assistant, to someone should translate the classes in English. I will try to speak to tomorrow Gangotri Prabhu. And he will translate the classes of Aniruddha. Generally, he will speak in Hindi, but there can be simultaneous translation in English. And some darshans can be translated online. Yes, yes. I will
Yes,
talk
Maharaj.
to
At least
Gangotri
have a
Prabhu.
Zoom class for our group. One Zoom class for our group, Maharaj. Give
Yeah,
us some
actually,
darshan
he
of.
will be giving classes. Generally, there are sometimes formal, informal conversations. There, but he keeps only talks about Harinam. That can be. I'll request him if he can give a Zoom class. But because Prabhuji has a language problem, he speaks with little English. But someone can translate for you. Maybe. I'll request because 7 days he'll be there. All right. I'll request Gangotri Prabhu. Sure, I'll
Okay.
request him. Hare Krishna.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Dandavat.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Rama.
Maharaj, if possible,
Ah,
and when you are free, then maybe they can contact you and then we can work around your time and we can host a program. And then Aniruddha Prabhu can come on and you can translate for us if it's scheduled for you.
sure, sure. I will. I can do that. Sure. Uh, I can do that. I have done that before also. So we can see. I'll talk to Gangotri Prabhu tomorrow. Yes, yes. There will be plenty of Hari Katha, I think, there because 7 days he'll be staying there. So he just finished his 5 lakh chanting. So he's now come out of that Mauna Vratam, not talking to anyone. So, yeah, sure. We'll arrange some association with Shri Anirudh Prabhuji. Okay. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Dandavat.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare
Dandavat.
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Mohan Prabhu, anything from your side? Oh, Gurudev left. Okay. Thank you, dear devotees, for joining today. Anu Prabhu, can you please?
Has anyone has
say
any?
guide? Oh, sorry, Maharaj.
Oh, sorry. Anyone has questions? I was asking also. Any concluding bhajan? Someone is saying. Judgment.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dandavat Maharaj.
Mohan Prabhu, Dandavat. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji, for reminding me I was late for the class.
Okay. Mohan Prabhu, today no questions.
Today we had session, Maharaj, but somehow I'm so sorry to say to you, Maharaj, some of my members are very sick and they are not coming, and some others also are not coming. And our attendance is dwindling, Maharaj.
Don't worry, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada said that even if one member comes and his life is transformed, then your job is done. To make one devotee also chant Hare Krishna mantra is superior than opening millions of hospitals. Or ringing a bell in front of the deity even for a moment is superior than all types of altruistic activities. Understand? So never lose hope. Understand? Dandiman also told me many times He told me that I used to tell him, Maharaj, no one is there for classes. Maharaj said, Maharaj told me that don't worry, my class also many times I have seen, like in the couple years ago, like 5-10 years ago, Shipa Dandi Maharaj used to give class in the temple. No one was there. He was alone reading Bhagavatam. Deities were there. There was old temple that time. And maybe one or two boys are sitting there and they are hearing. So he really cleared the list. Because the temple is there, the morning program must go on. Understand? Kirtan Bhajan must go on. Because no one is there, deities are listening. Understand? So if no one comes, you can still read Bhagavatam. Then not be disheartened. I was hearing some nice story. There was one man, he was sleeping. He was sleeping and he heard a sound actually that start pushing the mountain. Start pushing the mountain. Then he said, who's speaking? Maybe Paramatma is speaking to me in this voice. So nearby his house he went there and he started pushing the mountain. For 6 months he was pushing the mountain. But 6 months he pushed the mountain, but a mountain didn't move an inch. He said, maybe why Paramatma spoke like this to me to push the mountain, nothing has come out of it. Then he complained to Paramatma that you told me to push the mountain for six months. I am coming every day and pushing the mountain. Nothing has happened. So you have cheated me. Then Paramatma told him that he slept and then Paramatma woke him up and says, go to the bathroom. He said, why should I go to the bathroom? No, go. Then he went to the bathroom. He said, remove your shirt. He removed his shirt in the bathroom. He said, look in the mirror. He looked in the mirror because Paramatma told him to look in the mirror, look in the mirror. See your body. Because 6 months from morning till evening he was pushing the mountain. His biceps had become very strong. He had got like very good body, a restless body. You see, this is the effect. Mountain didn't move, but you got a very good body. So if nothing will happen. You think that if I give a class, no one is there. Or if I sing a bhajan, no one is there. But no, you are making progress. Understand? You are making progress. There will not be any perceptible result. But there are deities are hearing, Uddhav is coming, Hanuman is coming, and Mirabai is coming, Goswami Tulsidas is coming. They all are coming, understand. There are many great pure devotees, they are present when we are singing Harinam, doing Kirtan, all by oneself, still the deities are present, understand. Naham tishtami vaikunthe yoginam hridaya piva. Mad bhakta yatra gayanti tatra tishtami narada. I don't stay in Vaikuntha. I don't stay in where my devotees are glorifying me. I stay in that place. Understand? So that's why, for the pleasure of Bhagwan, we have to glorify all the time. So therefore, what you are doing, that japa, online japa, very, very important. Because you see that somehow they chant the holy name, even one Krishna Nam. Because in Maharashtra, there is a Varkari Parampara, they say, Hari Mukhe Mana Pumnechi Gadana. If you utter even one name of Hari, they tell that you may count the stars in the sky, you may count the particles of dust on the earth, you may count leaves on the trees, but you cannot count how much pious merit accrues by chanting the holy name. So that's why we should always encourage others to chant. Even 5 minutes, they come online, they chant. Very good. That's why it's the easiest process of God realization in Kali Yuga. And also, see, hearing also. Now, what is the better time to chant than this troubled planet, Some waves by chanting which we are creating might help the distressed persons. So many Indian students are trapped. We have to pray for them. So Gurudev told that when you drop a stone in the middle of a lake, then it will have so many waves expanding, going up to the shore. So if you chant even in your drawing room, sitting room, bedroom, even in the toilet, anywhere, that will have some waves, purifying waves, touching the whole universe and giving comfort to the troubled planet, Earth planet. Understand? The chanting has far more importance. Understand? It saves you from so many dangers. Bhagavatam tells that, especially if you are having any difficulty or any great calamity ahead of you, you loudly call Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, and you are free from all the troubles. Understand? So the Bhagavatam, this is the Bhagavatam philosophy. Hare Nama, Hare Nama. That's why Mahaprabhu told that, you chant Hare Krishna mantra or Hari Hare Nama Krishna Yadavaya Nama, Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama. This chanting should go on eternally. In Mayapur Dham also Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj said, nothing should be chanted other than Hare Krishna mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda, or Hare Hare Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha, Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan. These names, understand? These are not ordinary names. These are all Mukhya Naam of Krishna. Understand? So, Salpam Appasya Dharmasya Trayate Mahato Bhayat. Even if little progress on this path will save you from big danger. Understand? Understand? So, don't become hopeless or, keep on. Now, Maharaj also told me that, because there are no visas available, difficult to go to other countries, so many problems, war now has started, So, but there is, internet is also energy of Krishna. We are using it in service of Krishna. Understand? So, this is very good. Associating with, through medium of internet, we can encourage each other to do bhakti. Understand? So, we have to become Nishkinchan. So, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada said that those who do not desire anything of this world are Nishkinchan. They know that nothing in the material world can provide lasting happiness. Understand? No object on earth is ever pleasing in nature. Earth is like a prison for the conditioned living entities. We are imprisoned here due to forgetting God. And that is why we are suffering so much. So Prahlad Maharaj was the emperor of Bharatvarsha, Bharat Samrat. And he was a devotee, devoid of hankering for wealth, Nishkinchan Bhakta. You see, he was an emperor of the universe, but he was still penniless. He had no hankering. Sudama Vipra, who was very, very poor, was also Nishkinchan. See, here Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati was telling the contrast that Prahlad Maharaj was rich, but he was Nishkinchan. And Sudama was poor, but he was also Nishkinchan. Understand? He was completely Nishkinchan Bhaktas know that this entire world is an instrument, Upakaran, for serving Hari, Guru and Vaishnavas. Everything we have should be served, used for service of Krishna, Hari, Guru and Vaishnavas. That is why they do not desire to either enjoy the objects of this world or renounce them. Understand? Like Shripad Dandi Maharaj, I see. Some money will come to him, he will always engage that in Krishna service. Maybe some Goshala should be there, some temple room, some room for sevakas. Like Gurudev also, you see. Money used to come to him, he used to serve using Krishna's seva or renovating the pastime places of Krishna. They do not renounce the money, nor they enjoy the money. They only dovetail it in service of Krishna, use it in service of Krishna. They don't do bhoga, they don't do tyaga, they do yoga. Use it in Krishna's seva. If one does not perform devotional service to Lord Krishna, he has no right to accept even a piece of straw from this world. Devotees are always aware of this. Understand? We cannot take even one straw from the earth if we don't want to do service to Krishna. But to render service to Krishna, we can take clothes, money, gold, everything. Understand? Devotees are always aware of this. Devotees know that as a result of rendering pure devotional service to Lord Krishna, all facilities are provided and all auspicities are attained. You see that when we started rendering service to Krishna, automatically so many resources automatically come. But if I don't use it, like for example, I didn't have any resource, computer or anything to hold the classes. So Sripad Dandi Maharaj gave me this resource so I can talk to the people all over the world. I understand. So someone donated modem, someone donated. So Krishna arranged. It is ultimately Sripad Dandi Maharaj through his agency Krishna arranged that how will I speak if there is no computer resource? So he arranged like that. For editing, someone will give something. So it is Krishna arranging like that. Don't think that these facilities automatically these resources will come. By continually serving the holy name of Lord Krishna, one can realize the nature, the Swarupa, Bhakta, Bhakti and Bhagwan. Understand? There are three things. See, like Gurudev was telling that what is Tridanda Sannyas? Also, I said, Dandi Maharaj is Tridandi Sannyasi. Srila Gurudev was Tridandi Sannyasi. Srila Bhakti Ballabh Tirtha Maharaj was Tridandi Sannyasi. Tridanda means that Upasana, Upasya and Upasak, all three. The Upasana means one who is worshipping Bhagwan. Upasya means the object of service, Bhagwan. And Upasana means the mode of service, the method of service, that is Upasana. These three represent Tridanda Sannyas. One should perform Kirtan of Krishna Katha only after having the good fortune of hearing it from the lotus mouth of sadhus and gurus. This is the only way to exclusively serve Lord Krishna. If we are not exclusive in our service to Him, we will have to serve worldly persons and objects. So first we should hear nicely from Gurudev, our Gurudev. And then we should repeat it to others. Understand? Understand? If we don't serve Krishna, then we will have to serve the worldly person and objects. Right? You will have to speak something. You cannot remain without speaking. Understand? You cannot remain without speaking. So, if you don't glorify Krishna, you will glorify some worldly persons. Because we have natural taste for glorifying others. We should only do Anushilan of Krishna, following Krishna's footsteps. All our activities should be for the service of Lord Krishna. So therefore, Shri Varshavanavi Devi Srimati Radhika is the most favorable for Krishna, as is her name. So Radharani's name is also very favorable for Krishna. Understand? Radha Naam Parama Sukhadai. Guru Pada Padma is a personal associate of Srimati Radharani. Understand? Don't think Guru is ordinary person. Gurudev is a personal associate of Srimati Radharani. Gaudiya Vaishnava Vrinda worship Shri Radhaji's Krishna. They are more inclined to serve Shri Varshabhanavi, the daughter of Shri Vrishabhanu Maharaj, than to serve Krishna. That is our nature, understand. We are more inclined, Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradayas, Vaishnavas, they have a speciality. They are more inclined to serve Radharani than to serve Krishna. One can cultivate devotional service to Krishna only under the guidance of a devotee who has a favorable mood towards him. All facilities are attained only when one's devotional service is directed to Krishna. In other words, if one tries to please Bhagavan in all ways, all obstacles to devotional service will gradually disappear. Understand? All obstacles will gradually they'll disappear. Understand? So, alas, instead of regarding Krishna to be the proprietor of our home, we regard ourselves as the owner, and thus we are Grihavrati. Understand? Now we have taken Diksha. Now after taking Diksha, then what property we have? Everything is Gurudev's. So I was talking to Dandi Maharaj, then Dandi Maharaj told me the same thing. He said, when we take Diksha, disciple take Diksha, then Diksha Kale Shishya Kare Atma Samarpan. He is offering everything to Krishna. Then what is there? Then nothing is mine. Everything belongs to Krishna and Guru. Understand? I also belong to Krishna and Guru. Understand? Actually, should we speak the harsh truth? Sometimes question may come in our heart. Shall we speak the harsh truth? Then Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati says that certainly we should fearlessly disclose the truth to everyone. And thus they will not be cheated. Understand? We should speak the truth. They should not be cheated. Understand? The truth, even if unpleasant, should be spoken if it brings about the welfare of the living entities. No one should be bothered by this. One should try to search for the real truth. We should ponder how to bring about the welfare of all people of the world. We should be determined to bestow auspiciousness on ourselves and others. We should not only strive for the eternal well-being of people living now, but also for those who come in the future. We should always discuss the blissful abode of Vaikuntha. So here what is Gurudev's mission? See, Gurudev did not ensure that his disciples are taken care, only few, and the disciples initiated, they are delivered, that's it, and he left the world, that's it. Means all those who were on the planet, when he was on the planet, they are delivered, and what about the future devotees? We don't know. I raise my hand, I cannot help them because I will not be there. No. Srila Gurudev wrote books, night time, morning time, getting up, hours and hours, he had neck pain. But he used to put a strap and he used to still write in advanced age. He wrote the books, now the whole world is reading those books. And they are, if His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Gurudev would not write these books, who would have written? Who would have opened his treasure for us? So you see that so much he did. For even the future generations, he has ensured their welfare. We should always discuss the blissful abode of Vaikuntha. After reaching that abode, one does not have to return to this miserable material world. Before, here also you see that Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj was telling that we came from Vaikuntha, we fell down from Vaikuntha. In the beginning stage, he told like this for the disciples. You know why? Because they don't know anything. So he told them, okay, we were with God, we were in the heaven with the God in Vaikuntha, we fell down from there. Simple. He's told is simple. If you would have told them, the beginner devotees, there is Tatastha Shakti, marginal potency, and there is also internal potency, external potency, and it came from marginal potency, Brahma Jyoti, they would not understand. For example, there is a small child, he will ask the mother, Mother, where is the moon? Oh, mom, the moon is behind the branch. Actually, the moon is not behind the branch, moon is far away. But some branch moon logic, some idea has to be given. So like that, Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj in the beginning stage told them that you all came from spiritual world. You fell down from spiritual world. But we should know that no one falls from the spiritual world. Understand? So we should always serve the lotus feet of Sri Gurudev who gives us strength into knowledge. If we live in a household, everyone living there should serve him. Means ensure that all your family members serve Krishna. We should make sure that Bhagwan and devotees are in a comfortable home, even if we ourselves are living in a hut. This should be there. At least where Bhagwan is staying, the devotees are staying, we should give them a comfortable room. We can ourselves stay in a small hut, but let the devotees, Guru Maharaj and senior devotees, Vaishnavas, they should be given comfortable. Like Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj. One time he went to the house of an householder devotee and he was given a small hut to stay because he was a poor devotee. And then night started raining. So his disciples said, I will wake up the householders, the host. Maybe they can shift it to another room. Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj, no, you should not disturb them, they are sleeping. Then he said, you have an umbrella? I said, yes. Open the umbrella. So they sat underneath an umbrella in the hut. All night it was raining like this. All night raining. But he happily chanted japa till morning. Then morning time, the householder came. Guru Maharaj, how did you stay here? You should have told us. He said, no, actually I had to finish some rounds. I had woken up, so I said, let me chant my rounds. Don't worry. Means he did not disturb his host. He instead sat underneath an umbrella. Understand? One time, Srila Bhakti Vedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj went to Kathmandu. In Kathmandu, there is a Panchamukhi Shiva temple. Shiva with 5 heads. So, there, the Pujari told him, Maharaj, please come inside. You are allowed inside the temple, where the deity of Shiva is there, Shiva Lingam. So, Vaman Goswami Maharaj said, no one is allowed. How come you are allowing me? He said, last night, Lord Shiva came in my dream. He said, when pure devotee is coming, he should come. He should allow him. So Maharaj went inside. Then he said, Maharaj had brought some ghee, pure ghee. And he had one ring of some metal. in his finger, like iron or something. Not a gold one, but iron or something. And he started applying ghee to the Shiva Lingam, to give Abhishek. As he was applying the ghee, the iron ring in his finger turned gold. It became gold. Then he told Pujari that he took out the ring and gave it to Pujari. He said, "This is for you. This has become gold." And Pujari said, I knew there's actually one touchstone on the top of the Shiva Linga. And that's why the king told that people are very materialistic. Don't allow anyone to come inside. Otherwise, they will only try to make money. They'll bring the gold object and touch to Shiva Linga all the time. So, but because you are a pure devotee, I allowed. Even the king himself doesn't come. Understand? So, because Lord Shiva knows that Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj is a Nishkinjan Vaishnava. Our Guru Maharaj, Shripad Danti Maharaj, are Nishkinjan Vaishnava. They don't, service, only service, wearing simple clothes, serving Guru Vaishnavas, cows all day long. They don't know anything else. Only serving Guru Vaishnavas and cows. You should always serve the lotus feet of Sri Gurudev, who gives us transcendental knowledge. If we live in a household, everyone living there should be serving. Understand? So, we should not abandon the path of truth. Understand? Whatever we heard from Gurudev, from Vedas, the Vedic knowledge, we should follow that. Don't take the path of falsehood. The people of this world are taking the path of falsehood. And that's why they are suffering. If I take the path of falsehood, Ashrauta Patha, then I become an atheist and cheater. Understand? Don't be cheated. This society of cheaters and the cheated. Understand? Hare Krishna. It's too late now. Hare Bol. Hare Krishna. Dandavad.
Hare
Dandavad.
Krishna. Dandavad, Maharaj. Thank
Maharaj.
you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, dear devotees, for joining today. Can I please have Anu Prabhu to say Jai Divani? Thank you. Hare Krishna.
श्री श्री गुरु गौरंग गंधर्व का गिरिधारी राधा विनोद बिहारी जी की जय। नितिल्य प्रविष्णु विष्णु पर अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद भक्ति विद्यानंद नारायण गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। नितिल्य प्रविष्णु विष्णु पर अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद भक्ति विद्यानंद वामन गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। नितिल्य प्रविष्णु विष्णु पर अष्टोत्तर श्री श्रीमद भक्ति विद्यानंद स्वामी महाराज की जय। नितिल्य प्रविष्णु विष्णु पर अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। नितिल्य प्रविष्णु विष्णु पर अष्टोत्तर श्री श्री भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। नितिल्य प्रविष्ट परम भगवत प्रभा श्री श्रील गौर किशोर दास बाबा जी महाराज की जय। नितिल्य प्रविष्ट श्रील सच्चिदानंदन भक्ति ठाकुर की जय। नितिल्य लीला प्रविष्ट वैष्णव सर्वभौम श्री श्री जगन्नाथ दास बाबा जी महाराज की जय। श्री गौदेव वेदांत आचार्य श्री श्रील बलदेव विद्याभूषण प्रभु की जय। श्रील विश्वनाथ चक्रवर्ती ठाकुर की जय। श्री नरोत्तम श्रीनिवास श्यामानंद प्रभु त्राय की जय। श्रील कृष्णदास कविराज गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय। श्री रूप सनातन बात रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल दास रघुनाथ सत गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय। श्री स्वरूप दामोदर राय रामानंदरी श्री गौरव प्रसाद वृंद की जय। नामचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम सुखो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिव सती गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री अंतरद्वीप मायापुर सीमंत द्वीप गोद्रुप द्वीप माधुर द्वीप कोला द्वीप ऋतु द्वीप जान द्वीप मोदा ध्रुम द्वीप रुदक द्वीप पद्मका श्री नवा द्वीप धाम की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपी गो गोवर्धन द्वदश वनत्मकर श्री व्रज मंदर की जय। श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड गंगा यमुना तुलसी भक्ति देवी की जय। श्रीमती वीणा देवी की जय। श्री पौर्णमासी योगा माया की जय। श्री गोपीश्वर महादेव की जय। श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्र सुदर्शन चक्र जीव की जय। श्री क्षेत्र मंदिर की जय। सर्व विनाशकारी श्री नरसिंह देव की जय। भक्त प्रवर श्री प्रहलाद महाराज की जय। चार धाम की जय। चार संप्रदाय की जय। चार अचार्य की जय। अकर मात राज श्री चैतन्य मात की जय। श्री श्री केशवी जी गौद्य मत उता सका मत समूह की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद भागवतम जय। श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। समग्र भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री नित्य गौर प्रेमानंद हरि हरि बोल।
Thank you, Anu Prabhu, for that. Panchakalpa Chidya person to be vision. Patitanam Pavanabhi Vaishnavi Vaishnavi. Thank you, dear devotees, for joining today. So we'll see you all tomorrow for Shripad Bhaktivedanta Dandi Maharaj's program. Hare Krishna.